Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show, radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. And welcome to, where are we at? Betty, what planet are we on?
Wait, what do you mean? I haven't left. Nothing's changed. It got a little darker on Monday for a minute or two, but that was about it during the day.
I know. We made it through the eclipse and I'm disoriented, right? I'm like, what? What happened?
I mean, I'll be honest, I am a little bit too. The last couple of days have just been a little, not like unsettling, just a little uneasy, just a little odd, I guess, at times.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope
very much.
I wonder
so.
if other people are feeling the same thing.
Yeah. One of my clients called it the post eclipse apocalypse or something.
Yeah.
I can't say it like that, but you know, the energies are definitely moving us around, and I'm really honest with people. I really felt it, and I'll talk about it in just a minute. But yeah, we're here. We're in April, and what a powerful month we're in. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm glad you made it. I'm glad I made it. Good to see you.
You too. High five.
Sorry, everybody. I have to talk to Benny at the beginning of the show, and thank you for putting up with it. I just think he's wonderful. Anyway, I'm Loretta Brown, and I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area for 28 years now. I have a few things coming up. You can find out more about me at ReikiOasis.com, and be aware of the fact that my website is still being blocked for some reason. I put something up that shouldn't be there, but you can get to the scheduler, and we've been working on it for quite a while now to be able to break through whatever that is. I do have my monthly class for women is April 20th, the Temple of the Divine Feminine, and these are very potent gatherings because of the astrological thing, and also because of the emerging of the divine feminine is what I'm going to say. So even though we had clouds and rain here in Seattle on Monday, and we couldn't see the full solar eclipse new moon in Aries, I certainly could feel it. And the total eclipse first appeared around here. Well, it started about 10:30 in the morning, was peaking around 11:30, that's Pacific Standard Time, and then passed on through. But I took a look at the swath of it across the U.S., you know, down from Mexico up through Texas and all the way to Maine and all the way out Canada. And they estimate that about 31 or 32 million people live in the path of totality. So that's interesting. That's a broad patch of humanity. I did watch it on TV. I watched it several times. It was stunning. And I kind of suggest that if you haven't taken the time, find somebody who put up a video. A lot of people took amazing pictures, and sit through the whole thing and allow the energy of it to come through to you, because my take on it is that it's upgrading us in some manner. I felt a very strong shift within me, maybe an opening up of something, maybe DNA. Maybe my guest today can give us some more insights into that. I think it'd be great. But it really feels like a portal or a doorway, or we stepped through something. And I know this is just kind of the beginning of things. For those of you that missed it, I did do a Zoom call, a meditation, and I did record it. And so if you want that full solar eclipse meditation that I put out there, just send an email to reikioasis@gmail.com, and we'll figure out how to get it to you. You can listen to it anytime. You know, these meditations, these transmissions are timeless. They don't really care about time, space, and distance, and so it can help you. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, you know, I talk about Western astrology, but in Vedic astrology, the eclipse was in Pisces, the watery sign of Pisces. Why do we care about this? Because Pisces is the last sign of the astrological calendar, and Aries is the first, and we're talking about water, and we're talking about fire, and we're talking about the beginning and the end, or the ending and the beginning of something. And so it's big. And we're also, our planet's traveling through the photon belt. So instead of doing a workshop on that right here on the radio, I'm just mentioning it a little bit. Now, this week and today, from the 9th through the 11th, Mars and Saturn came together in conjunction in Pisces. That's one of the reasons I brought it up. This can be a very volatile combination as it takes place right after the eclipse, and we may be feeling it more intensely than usual. Mars, Saturn, Pisces. So when Mars and Saturn come together, we can feel a combative energy, and Mars adds fire and Saturn adds force, bringing some potentially volatile situations to the surface. And so it might trigger our boundaries and where we may need to be firmer with our boundary or perhaps relax a little bit. You know, we can be very rigid, and that doesn't really serve us. Not really. On April 12th, we have a Mercury Cazimi. And if you hang out with me, you know I love the word Cazimi. It sounds like a great Italian food, but that's not what it is. We have the Sun and retrograde Mercury in a conjunction in the Mercury Cazimi. The word Cazimi is derived from an Arabic phrase meaning in the heart of the Sun. And it is here within the Sun's temple that new missions are seeded. The planet gets purified in the Sun's rays. So think of like using a flame to sterilize the end of a needle before you poke it into some part of the body, right? And there's a cleansing effect of this energy, and fresh truths are being revealed. So retrograde Mercury conjunct the Sun means they're very, very close together. Mercury is in the Sun's portal there. And this is going to be one of the most powerful days in the retrograde cycle. That is tomorrow, I believe. Like, figure out where I'm at, what planet I'm on. It is at this point we can activate a new way of thinking and seeing things. And if we have been feeling foggy or confused about something, this is where we can start to get clarity. So things from the past that have come back around, we might be able to manage them. And also think about the heart. You know, I was talking about the eclipse as being the big eclipse of the heart, but we do have a lot going on. Now, we're also headed toward Taurus season, and we're headed toward the powerful Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on April 20th. I'll talk more about that next week. So April's the big turning point, and having laid out all the stars and planets and the sun and the moon, I can't think of a better way to bring in Viviane Chauvet. She's an advanced Arcturian hybrid avatar. She always feels like a soul star sister to me of some kind. She's a published author, international public speaker, creator of the Arcturian Energy Matrix Healing, the Arcturian Healing Arts Program. She's an advocate for planetary evolution, an emissary for the Federation of Light. She's the owner of Infinite Healing from the Stars. And Viviane, like I said, is a true advanced Arcturian hybrid avatar, a conscious interstellar voice channel, acting as a conduit for star delegations, such as the Lyrans, the Sirians, the Andromedans, and other groups. And she's an emissary for the Federation of Light. Welcome to the show, Viviane. It is such a joy to have you here. Woohoo!
Well, thank you so much for having me, Loretta. It's a joy to be with you and everyone listening. Finally, we're here together. It is wonderful.
It is so wonderful. I've had you on my show before, and I just can't say enough good things. But I would like you to revisit probably some things I asked you last time. I never remember what I asked people. But what is an advanced Arcturian hybrid? And what are you here to do?
Yes.
A little question.
If you look at the very high vibrational aspect of those semantics, what it really means, if I want to make it more simple, is that you have to look at, I am this beautiful advanced intergalactic being, and I'm part of a very ancient civilization, or an ET race, if you want. And we have simply reached a level of enlightenment and ascension a long time ago. And so an aspect of my original Arcturian self, or my Arcturian avatar, that is already in that higher consciousness just send out a soul emanation of myself in a very specific vessel. This physical form is the hybrid part. And so my physical vessel was engineered in a way that it could be a very high vibrational conduit while being still somehow adaptable to function on a planet that has completely different energies or have a dualistic energies, still function in a linear time construct with a very heavy gravitational pull to it. So there's a lot of requirements to send a high vibrational being in a sustained form that can stay on the planet for so long. So I've been here for so long already in terms of time frame, because usually we simply send or project our holographic light body that will appear solid and palpable and visible to you. But in reality, we're not on planet with you. We're simply sending an aspect of ourselves. So it's really extraordinary for my group, my civilization, to have one of their own in that form, in a hybrid form on the planet. Now we do have some, and I do say aspect of our people who have sent out a soul emanation in human form, but they went through the reincarnation and the body, the mother carried a child and born and all of that fun stuff. So we have a few of them on the planet, but Arcturians, among other really advanced groups, we typically more interact with a younger civilizations or a planet more in our original form, so we can stay in the, how could I say that? So we can remain in the original aspect of our own resonance field. But now being on the planet, that changed the dynamic completely. So this is why it doesn't look that much to you. It has the idea, so I can be more relatable, we can talk, we can have these beautiful exchange. But for us, being on a planet so long, embodying a form of another race, it's a big endeavor.
Wow. I'm sitting here just amazed at what you just said. And I'm just going to share with you, I'm kind of a little bit of a goofball sometimes, right? But I keep looking at you and I keep thinking about Princess Leia from Star Wars. So I'm giving that to you. Galactic says, I don't know, but there it is.
Well, thank you so much. Would you
Yeah,
let me like 5 minutes to share a very fun anecdote with Carrie Fisher?
please do.
Okay, so many years ago, I was doing very fun work. I was doing volunteer work in conference circuits, and I was working for this company who had a license with the Star Wars franchise. So I got to meet many of these beautiful
Oh,
people from, the Star Wars world and other sci-fi shows. But the fun thing you said about Princess Leia, so 2009, I'm in San Francisco at this very large conference, and I'm a volunteer for this company, and they brought some of the main actors from Star Wars. One of them was Carrie Fisher, but Carrie was scheduled to arrive the next day. So my role for the time being was to keep an eye on her autograph table, and we had all the pictures to show that Carrie Fisher is coming. So I'm working at a table and I'm doing my, and I have some people coming that says, would you, I have a picture, can you autograph it for me? And I look behind me, the poster, and I look at myself. I mean, who would you like? What do you mean if I would like or she would like? But she go, aren't you the same? Aren't you Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia? They thought that I was Princess Leia, so they wanted me to autograph them, and I could charge whatever money. But
I'm so glad you shared that story because I'm with whoever that person was. Yeah, of course. Yes, you are.
well, thank you. Well, I never told that to Carrie Fisher, but the supervisor of that company looked at me. She said, you can make a good sideline money today. Just tell them you're Princess Leia and you can sign your autograph. And I know
Yeah.
how she signs, so I can do those little jiggly wing, how she does it, or used to, my blessing.
Yes, yes, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I love it so much. I mean, I think that, my active imagination was thinking about how how in Star Wars there's all these other races, you know, the ET races and people from other planets, and I very much just sensed that around you. So it was just coming through, right?
I love
So
that.
I don't know, maybe you are a galactic princess. I don't know, but I'll accept it too.
Well,
Right.
I have been
Yeah.
called an Arcturian princess by the reptilians. Sometimes they call me you
Oh,
Arcturian princess. They will say that
really?
to me. Well, that's the perspective.
I love what you just said. And it opens up all kinds of doors for our conversation today. So, um, are you? How do I ask this question? Are you unique? Like, I really understand how the Arcturians can, you know, come down and be born through bodies and things like that. But you're an actual hybrid. How many other hybrids like you are there on the planet, or are you very unique in this manner?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Loretta. So, in this sense, the way my physical form was constructed to to really advance extraterrestrial conscious technology, my body is a prototype.
Okay.
So we understand now more of what is working well and what has been a constant state of challenges to maintain this form. So the next level of our people coming to the planet to help at different points. Now we communicate with many people on the planet. That will be more of our strength, that we're communicating with many advanced, beautiful light workers, very gifted, whether it's through channel, as you call it, whether it's through teachings. So we have shared an aspect of our knowledge at different stages to different people throughout the world with the purpose of creating a very unified field and helping humanity and this planet and all life on it to evolve. So in that sense, we're more going that way. But in my case, I am very much of a prototype, which is why my DNA cannot be replicated.
Ah,
There's a
okay.
code, there's a way it has been encoded. I never had biological children because I cannot reproduce. This is not what I'm here for.
Mhm.
And I always says I have an entire planet to take care of, so I have enough beautiful souls to
Yeah.
help and support. And so my genetic has been constructed over many generations and in a way that it's very unique. So yes, in that sense, I am a prototype, and there are others of our people on the planet. The other level of hybrids, we can classify that word as, is more in terms of when the soul entered the physical form that was made of, the conjunction of two humans. Then we may add some genetic traits to strengthening that vessel to help more that soul to embody, support their mission, help them to adapt better, because it's very difficult for us overall, even for a star seed, an Arcturian, a real Arcturian star seed. It
Yeah.
is very difficult to be, it is very polarized energies for us. We've already reached a level of unification, and we've been living in that level of unification for thousands of years. So to descend back into a place where there's still this dualistic polarization energy, fear, projection, and manipulation, it is extremely difficult to sustain emotionally, psychologically, physically, and all the above. So this is why that I would say the next level of what you would consider as hybrid is more heading on to a body that's already developing, having some support system to help that soul. But the way my physical form came about at that level, we understood that it's something that we will not recreate. So in that way, this is why I say I'm a prototype in that sense.
You know, I'm hearing you like this is, I don't know, you'd say that it's denser here, but yeah, with all the fear and all of the way that we are here, do you sometimes have to go somewhere else and have your body worked on, or do you just take care of that right here? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Loud and clear, Loretta. Actually, both. So I do my part. I'm very diligent on my body. I take a lot of supplement and different vitamins, and I talk to my body. And I'm very mindful when I walk. And I would tell people, if you meet me be gentle, not tap me
Right.
hard and on the back or squeeze my hands, because you can potentially break a bone. You can damage my body.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
am doing my due diligence. Yes. And yes, I need
Okay.
also a lot of assistance to maintain my form.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I'm very aware of your team, your big team that works with you or something. There's a very wonderful, loving presence with you that I don't quite know how to define, but it's here, right? Maybe it's the Arcturians, which I love. So we just love them. Yeah. That's, connected to them. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
I have so many questions. I really honestly have so much I want to talk to you about. I'm just going to jump to this and we can jump around in wherever it goes. I know that you went to Egypt because I talked to you before you went, and I also went in November after you had gone. And I would love to hear from you about Egypt. Why were you there? What called you there? What was the main thing? That is the big question, I know. And I'm thinking about the Sphinx. So if you could just tap into that. Yes,
Yes,
thank
of
you.
course. So why was I that? Why was I there? You can still hear me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So there was a really huge calling. So when I was offered an opportunity to go to Egypt, I really had to consult with my delegation. First, I knew that physically it would be a huge endeavor for me. I mean, a really huge one. It's like the equivalent of preparing to climb the Mount Everest. For me, this is how huge this is. The travel, being in altitude for so long in a pressurized cabin, which is very difficult on my lungs, and my cardiovascular system, blood circulation. I mean, it's just the challenge and just carrying a luggage walking to airport. I'm really not designed for that kind of really heavy physical activities. So when I had to consult with them, I always tell them, I'm an Arcturian. This is beyond my physicality. This is beyond my considerations. What I will recommend to do so we can accomplish potentially a huge planetary support or a huge, really, I would say, transcendence that needs to take place for many life forms. So they show me the map. They show me, and show me meaning that they will project an holographic field in front of me, and I will see imagery. And so for 3 months, at least 3 to 4 months prior to physically being there and even to the Sphinx, I would etherically travel and commune with the Sphinx and be on site. But just for the Sphinx, I did not go any other places, just the Sphinx. And what I was shown is how much it would positively affect the future timeline and the reactivation, the re-emerging, of the secret archive that will connecting to the grids through all the archives of everyone's DNA. And plus it's also connecting to the secret archives on the universal level. So there was a really complex grid system that was showing me. So I knew that it would take a village to get me there, so to speak. So you talk about feeling a lot of the groups around me. We're working with other wonderful groups that vibrate on a 6 dimensional level. The Andromedan also involved with my Earth mission, and I have other groups. And the Lyrans Council were aware of what we were about to do. So it was a very beautiful collaborative effort on a universal intergalactic level, plus on the Earth level. I was part of a really large network that was providing me with the support system, the structures, with guides, and we had a guide waiting for us at the airport. So it was the best way to do it, is the structure was there to facilitate what took place. And I understand and respect tremendously the many groups and beautiful gifted people who have gone to Egypt well before me and well after me. So what we're saying is that you have to imagine that being an Arcturian being or intergalactic being in a hybrid human form changed the dynamic to another level. So we want to very grateful and thank everyone who's preparing the terrain, preparing the field before, and then our arrival and those who have come after us, like yourself, Loretta, so you can continue the work at different levels. But what took place, especially during the Sphinx, is that I had at least four distinct group consciousness who came through my body, one after another. So think of it as sending binary codes that comes in, and then the next set comes in, take it over, and the next set, and the next set. So 4 times in a row. Okay, so I'm sitting physically, I'm touching the ground. There's a direct connections. My root chakra, my root are direct connected to the archives. So the transmission is straight going into the earth through the archives. And I was very conscious. So I say I'm a conscious conduit. I stay in the body. I remember everything. I feel everything. I am here at the same time. So I had my Arcturian father, my husband was there, people from the Stargate, and I have, my delegations. And I had also the Council of Lyra, who were on high alert, knowing what was going on. And many other groups, the Sirians were there, the Andromedan, the Elfin group. I mean, many were there. And one after another, the transmission comes. And I was in this altered state in the sense that what it means is I was in more of an in-between dimensional state. So I was aware of what's happening physically to my body as I could see who came with group consciousness, what group consciousness came in for what purpose, and I could see the transmission of all the codes. It looked like sequential code, like binary codes, very fast transmitting, like in a vertical way, not horizontal, but it was vertical, coming through like stripe of codes coming in. And my husband was holding my hand. He said at some time he was like pushed away. He couldn't hold my hand anymore because the energy was unbearable for him. It was too strong. I can handle it, but he couldn't because physically, again, I'm engineered that way. So those codes went through my root chakra to my spine root, went straight into the archives. And I looked down and I could see that there was again that interdimensionality of these archives starting to realign themselves with this plane of reality and the aspect of the future timeline of ascension. And so at the same time, there was a signal sent, well, multiple signal, not just one, but multiple signals sent to the galactic core. So many delegations received it, many council received it. They were all aware what was happening on the planet at the time. And I look up to looking at the face of the Sphinx, and I saw these beautiful luminous eyes coming in to tell me the Guardians has fully reintegrated this reality and understand what the archives will be about. But then something else happened. I had another quick vision, and I looked like what seems to be behind me, and I saw etherically another interdimensional corridor or a channel opening in front of me, and I saw the Mount of Uluru in Australia. And they
Yes, of
show me,
course.
yes, of course, makes sense. Well, right, we are in that step now with the Pleiadian. We are in that phase. We are in that era right now. So I saw Uluru, and they told me that next year, this is what you need to be. So I have already initiated last year while we were in Egypt to say, well, our next step is Uluru. It's a continuous field. So as a result, with a lot of work and many, many, many months in the making, we're going to bring 2 groups in Uluru in between the end of September, more in October. And we're going there with the same network, the Stargate people. So just to summarize, and yet during the essence of what took place, this is in a nutshell what happened in the Sphinx.
Wow, I am so thrilled you shared that and honored. I am rolling in goosebumps the entire time, and I love it. I love it very much. We're actually going to take a station break, and don't go away. My guest today, Viviane Chauvet. Chauvet.
Chauvet.
Chauvet. Okay. Viviane Chauvet. And she is an Arcturian hybrid. And this is a fascinating conversation. This is Loretta Brown. Don't go away. We'll come right back. We've got lots more questions for Viviane.
All clear, ladies.
Have something important to say? Want to help improve our world? Need to promote your business uniquely and effectively? KKNW is the answer. Our staff helps broadcasters and podcasters create professional sounding audio. Bring your talent and let our experts help you craft a radio show or podcast that best delivers your message. Learn more at 1150kknw.com. That's 1150kknw.com. KKNW, talk variety that's live and local.
Energy is powerful. It's all around us, mysterious, full of potential. Directing positive, healing energy to raise your vibrational rate through Reiki can change your life. Reiki Master Loretta Brown has relieved stress, sadness, anger, and even helped clients lose weight, stop smoking, and end sleep disorders. Worldwide, people have sought out Reiki Oasis. If you want help with your dis-ease, visit ReikiOasis.com. Harness life's energy. Visit ReikiOasis.com today.
Blind, low vision, eyesight changing? You are not alone. Connecting with blind and low vision people can provide support and expand your understanding of what is possible. We are making our own choices every day, but we are also stronger together. To learn more, visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Need help getting started with self-help? You came to the right place. Alternative Talk 1150.
Let me know when you're ready to come back. All right, stand by.
Wow. I love harp music. Thank you, Mr. Benny Mathers. Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown show. And I am the original Loretta Brown. I never quite know what that means. There's others out there, maybe. And, that's fine. Own your name. My guest today is Viviane Chauvet, and she's an advanced Arcturian hybrid avatar, published author, and all kinds of wonderful things. I want to remind people these shows are archived at the KKNW 1150 AM archives for the original Loretta Brown show. And we're also on iTunes, Spotify, X, Megaphone. I've left something out. Podcast One, YouTube. We're all over the place. So please find the show, download it, listen to it over and over again. And there's a whole bunch of other really, really great shows out there. My conversation with Viviane, to me, is just so fascinating and might be stretching you a little bit. And that, of course, that's the whole idea, expand a little bit and get out there. When you went to Egypt, Viviane, and you had the experience with the Sphinx, right? And then you went through your trip with Egypt. I have to ask you, is there anything that came from that trip that, how do I say this? That maybe, what about the timeline of planet Earth? What are some of the things coming up? Because that feels to me like you activated something very important. I've got goosebumps. And Uluru will continue that process, but could you talk to that just a little bit?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And it's very important because it's very much a really deep invitation to everyone. There's nothing too much stretch or woo-woo or extraordinary anymore. It really is to a re-understanding that everything that we speak of in reality, it's very natural. You're coexisting with universal laws. You're coexisting with a multitude of sentient life forms, known and unknown, in multiple forms. Just look on the planet here on this earth, the diversity of life, whether it's to the human race, the insect, the beast, the animal kingdom that we need to honor. They're not toys, everyone. They're living beings with soul and sensation and feeling. Tree nations, we're coexisting with a multitude of visible and non-visible different reality with your planet. So Egypt represented a much, much necessary sacred realignment to help also those who live in Egypt for generations, people, men, women, children, animals, life there. We need to bring Egypt in the original glory, the original blueprint, releasing. Part of our mission there was to help to release these oppression and manipulation and the density that took Egypt over because the discrepancy of reality coexisting between the cities and the temples and these majestic architecture, pyramids and all of it. It's too big. I mean, you enter just the site of Giza, and I was struck by sadness and heaviness. I
Yeah.
did not resonate with Giza pyramid. More,
Yeah.
I was surprised just the sight itself to see all these camel and the dire hot sun, sitting in the sun waiting for someone to sit on their back. Many times I told the Egyptian I refuse to take animals as transportation. And why is the attempt to heal that gap between humanity and other life form? If you heal that gap, forget about the stars, heal that gap within yourself, then the gateway to the stars are reopened to you. And that needs to be done urgently. I mean, that can no longer be sustained that way. Because I have made a decree and asked many delegations and councils to remove the animal kingdom from the planet. If that's the way it's going to be, well, then they can evolve and get out of the planet. And human beings, you'll have to evolve and learn different ways. It comes to the point where we're no longer playing. We're no longer playing smalls. We're no longer going to tone ourselves down just to please the egoic lower mind because it seems too much. It's really a really loving and yet empowered and serious invitation to come back to your heart, feel the reverence for whole life. And the more you do that, the more you're helping yourself to heal the old wounds, ancestral, genetics, historical, the more you're going to help to add more vibration into Gaia and the core, the grid system, and understanding that what takes place in Egypt affects you here in America. And it sounds to be very opposite scale on the planet. It is, but in reality, you're still part of the same symbiotic field, the same beautiful ecosystem of life. And one of the things about the Arcturians is that we are protectors of life. We are really protectors. We are great guardians. And we are known in the multiverse for this, among other things, but for that in particular. And when I, as an Arcturian being, and I don't need to be an Arcturian being to feel life, just your faculty, human beings have this extraordinary faculties to feel, to be empathic with each other's, and to be able to be in sync. And the same thing goes for the land, resources, trees, everywhere. So the discrepancy for me was very huge in Egypt. So I knew that my role was both on the third dimensional level as it was on the higher dimensional level. And it was a conjunction that was oscillating back and forth between constantly shifting the dynamic. So everyone I'm going to come in contact, even children, I would send them a seed, sending an energy. Heal your heart. When I give you money, I give you energy. When I buy something from you, is I honor you. And so that's also the realization that everyone can do when you're interacting with different culture, to bring the intention behind it. And there's some things I saw in Egypt that it was very difficult for me to reconcile. And I had to have this constant dialogue with my intergalactic groups. I have a very benevolent being who came to me and told me to stop doing my work. Oh yes. So we were coexisting constantly between the light, the dark, constantly. There were places where the group would settle down and do meditation, and I can tell you, in the same temple or the same room where we were, on one side I saw dark, malevolent being, and on the other side I saw very positive, high being of light. What would you think we did as Arcturians? We brought both, and we said it is time to reconcile that field. It's time to bring a reunification. So there's no more the yin in one corner and the yang in another corner. It's time to bring that back. And that's what we've done everywhere we went, every temple. And that is living in higher consciousness. You don't have to be an Arcturian to do this. Human beings, the human race has this fantastic capacity to do the same. I was just here as a reminder, if that makes sense.
Yes, that's very well said. And I'm thinking how important what you just said, that message and that bringing those together, because we're in such a divisive world right now. And it's like everything divides. And I'm like, I'm constantly going, come back, come, right? And
Precisely.
yeah, precisely. Now, I know you do healing work, you do Arcturian healing work. Can you talk a little bit about what it is that you do? You've got Arcturian energy matrix healing, the unity field healing, the Lyran universal healing grid treatments, and what you just said. I love this. Put the seed. I love this. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
asking. So, over the last 12 years, from a public perspective, the last 12 years alone, I have done thousands upon thousands of different form of healing sessions with people worldwide, whether it's individually, whether it's a private group, or it can be a parent with a child. And so in different settings. So my role is moving more on a global and planetary level. So I am moving away from the one-on-ones privates. So there's no need to reach out for me to this. We have other ways to work with us. So besides the one-on-ones that I no longer do as much, what I do is offering more our monthly series called the Arcturian Holographic Group Healing. And every month we shift the transmission of the frequencies. We move into a different theme, whether it's a DNA, whether it's the new human template, the plasma body, whether we work also on a conscious level, how to connect with the galactic tree, soul ancestry. So we do every month is unique as the imprint that we create. And I would say join our holographic group healing. It's a monthly series, once a month, a very powerful 2 hours. You can watch the replay for a certain time. And we do have also our beautiful online universal Arcturian community, where we have light-minded people from all over the world. We have the cream of the crop because people who come to us are very determined. They have this willingness. They have this openness of the heart. They have this light desire to really make a difference for themselves and those around them. And so we do have a membership. It's called the Arcturian Holographic Group Healing, and that includes other benefits like a monthly class. We have also private group Zoom meeting with the members. You have access to all the replays without limitations. So there's a lot of tools that we offer to allow everyone to step into a step of sovereignty, empowerment, and being able to simply reconnect more and more with the truth of who you are, not the truth of what your mind projected for you.
I love it. Yes. People can find you. Where's your web site?
My website is called Infinite Healing from the Stars. So Infinite Healing from the Stars. This is where I'm from. .com. And it's the online community, and the membership is listed under services. And yes, we also have an online program. We just finished it right now. So we're working on creating a beautiful digital package with all the videos of the program, and we'll announce it. And my goal is to create new programs, new trainings, more teaching, more allowing us to say, here's are the tools that we know. Use them in your own ways. Allow yourself those keys to open those portals for you and with you. So we prefer to work with you rather than provide everything for you. And that's where we're heading in terms of partnership with everyone.
So, can you talk a little bit about the Councils of Light and the New Earth? What is that?
Well, Council of Light, it's a generic term. It's a big label, it's an umbrella. There's a multitude of councils. So we work with different Star Regency Council, depending on different region in the multiverse. We work with, of course, with the main intergalactic group that you know of. We work also with the Solar Councils or the Great Archives. We work with the Gatekeeper or the Council of Time. And that Council of Time is, especially we work with them when we work with soul groups, understanding their different timelines or what we need to work on releasing or resolving on a karmic level, what has been going on. And this is when the karmic board comes. So we work with a multitude of, I would say, hierarchical energies. So Council of Light is this umbrella that is overseen by many different level of beings. Some of them are formless, others are coexisting. Their role is to oversee the flow of evolution at different part in the plane of existence, and each plane will have countless level of dimensions, and then you have different. So it's complex. So the Council of Light, like I said, it's a big umbrella. It's not just that's the council, and it's something when people say, I work with a council of 12. Okay. What delegation, what group, what level, what sector? What does it mean? There's many council of 12 or 13 or whatever numbers you want to give it, but it's more complex than just I'm part of that council and it's nothing else. No, it's all branched out into each other. It really is. It's all part of the prime creator, and there's different ways that we can serve and assist and how we interact with each other.
Yeah, I'm really glad for the clarity on that, because I do hear people say that. I work with a Council of 12, or the Council of 9, or whatever. And I've always thought to myself, which one? It's got to be more than one, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes,
Gotta be more.
absolutely.
So I would imagine that there are other ET races, I guess you'd say, that are involved here on planet Earth. You mentioned the Lyrans, right? And what is the interest with planet Earth?
Well, the Earth, it's been designed originally as an ark that contains so many genetic codes and seeds. So the diversity of life, the ecosystem that the Earth is capable of holding is really unique. And there are other planets that may look like the Earth or to have certain degree, but the Earth has something in its original concept very unique as a garden of life, and the resources, the vibration, the opportunity. So many souls for thousands of years have come here to learn, evolve, to be able to learn a very specific aspect that allow them to reach the next level of octaves in their evolution. So the Earth is very unique in her own way. And we, along with other very evolved, spiritually evolved, not technology, doesn't matter, it's the spiritual aspect of the enlightenment part that counts. I've been watching or monitoring or interacting with this young sector of the Milky Way, how it's been evolving, how it's been shifting, and also, when the Earth descended more into a fragmented aspect of herself, that is also create a huge impact, more than you realize, throughout the multiverse. And I would say a planet, whether you call it Earth, Terra, whatever name you want, or label you want to give a planet, a celestial body capable of sustaining life, it's very sacred. And so the Earth, and like other planets also capable of sustaining life, will be protected. And we have seen through the great archives that there's been planet has been destroyed, or I would say zero out, in a sense that our ecosystem once was flourishing and then became a complete dry desert with nothing, and to shift to see such a traumatic change in the ecosystem, or ultimately leading to destruction, it has a lot of deep ripple effect. So the sacredness of life has to be recognized in every form. You don't have to have the human template to say, well, that life we're going to save. No, all life. Life is sacred. It's contained a very seed aspect of creator, even particle of life. So when you start to open your mind to your higher mental faculties with the true wisdom of what these beautiful intergalactic beings are really teaching, it's really about returning in a space of reverence. And I would start by having reverence and respect for you. When you respect yourself, you're honoring who you are, honor your uniqueness. So that's another big shift I'd like to quickly mention is let's move out. I'm different from everybody else. I've always been different from my family, different from the school, all the kids in school. Different implies separation, isolation. I've always been unique and I embrace my uniqueness. That feels much more encompassing. You feel a vibrational shift here? So that would be a little piece of wisdom. Let's remove that energy. We understand that you're recognizing your uniqueness. You feel the way you think, reflect. It maybe seems really opposite of others, especially in your family. If you feel like you're the only one more spiritual, or the others feel a bit more 3D, more closed down, but just celebrate and respect your uniqueness because you are still part of all there is. There's no separation. So this is one thing that we have observed a lot here is shifting some of the semantics is having a huge vibrational impact on you, if that makes sense.
Yes, very much so. My goodness, I have so many questions. I want you to touch very briefly. You mentioned reptilians earlier in the show. So
Yes.
there are antagonistic ETs. Is there people talk about the battle going on. People talk about planet Earth in the future. Just very briefly, like 1 minute, if you can.
Yes, so there are those who are more self-serving, and some of the groups, like the Draconian reptilians, faction of their group, not all of them, but faction of their group, are more self-serving. They prefer to see humanity be what is the word? Serving them, serving their interests, being more obedient, obedience to a higher God. There are those groups. We're really aware of them. Again, it's about reconciling those gaps and asking those souls who they don't want to go that way, but there's other opportunities for them to evolve. But it's time to reclaim your
Same
sovereignty.
thing. Yeah, I got it. It's wow. Your mission here on planet Earth is fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. So very grateful you're here. Very briefly, in the last minute, how did the eclipse affect us, and what do you really want to say to people? I know you don't have enough time, but
Think of it this way. The solar energy, the solar gamma energy is the next breath of life that helps everything to evolve.
yes, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick and final words to the audience before we close down the show today.
Final word comes down to what you believe about yourself is going to be projected in your reality. Reality is the overlapping of multitude of belief system and perspective projected. Your reality, my reality, everyone else. It's just projection. It really is. So reverse that and every day live as I am a divine being and I'm embracing this experience as a human being. So what else would you do differently?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Viviane Chauvet. And we didn't have time to talk about her husband's beautiful pendants, but I'm going to bring this up here. Which one are you wearing?
It's the same as you. It's just a gold edition.
Yeah. I got it's Archangel Chamuel. It saved my life, but go to Infinite Healing with the Stars, I think. Yeah.
From the stars.
From the stars. Infinite Healing from the Stars.com. You can find everything there. Viviane, what a joy and a delight. Thank you so much. From my heart to yours, love. Love, love. Mwah. And Mr. Benny Mathers, you're the best.